Welcome to episode 89 of the PACT Life Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Carter, along with my family. Beside me, we got my brother, Mr. Cut Carter.
What the?
And last but not least, we got my cousin, Mr. Demont.
Thank you for having me. What's up, man?
What's up, gentlemen? How you guys doing, man? Y'all well?
I'm great.
Feeling good, living better.
Feeling good, living better. Heard you. Before we start, I'd like to say 2 years, man. 2 years doing the podcast. Anniversary January 27th.
Yes, sir.
Since it's been a ride, been an incredible journey. Proud of how we all came. I went back and looked at some of the old videos. I was a little pup back then, a little pup. Now I'm like the bigger dog. You feel me? Carter, you was here since the beginning, bud. How you feeling, man? 2 years doing this thing.
Time flies by, man. Proud of you. I'm just happy to be a part of it. You dig.
Appreciate Demar. Usually it would be B here, but B, every time we went to Zoom, he ain't been active. But how you been feeling? You been having
really took his place. You took his place.
How you feeling, man?
I mean, I feel like I've brought a better analysis to the show anyway, but it's been great seeing the show come and, hopefully get back to live shows soon or whatnot.
For sure. We need to do a live show in a minute.
On the show coming up, wink, wink.
Also, before we start, January 26th, man, was a sad day as the anniversary of the death of Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, and the 7 others who died in the helicopter crash. Cut Carter.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say, 1 year anniversary, the loss is still prevalent, and rest in peace, man. Prayers to their families to continue to get healing and to continue to get blessed.
Yes, sir. Still crazy. I'm sure everybody.
It is crazy. Very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad still.
Very sad.
But it was good to see all the highlights and, there's a bunch of Kobe fans out there. So I think Kobe has one of the strongest athlete legacies of all time. You see me, I was rocking my shirt and my Kobe hat. Shout out Lord Fubu. See the hat? You see the Kobe?
Kobe. All right. You guys ready to discuss some football games?
I am. Let's do
it. I got you. NFL Conference Championship, Conference Sunday. We start with the game that kicked it off, the battle of two GOATs, Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Green Bay and defeat the Packers 31-26. Brady was stellar.
Two GOATs? Sorry, keep going.
Brady in the first half was spectacular. 3 tutties, one to Scotty Miller before the half, just psycho Tom at his best. But the second half, Brady diminished in his quality of play, but that defense, Sean Murphy, Burton, Butling, probably messed his name up. Carlton Davis, Todd Bowles dialing up pressure with Shaq Barrett, JPP, Devin White, them boys balled and made Green Bay go home. So, Demond, you got a lot to say on social media and our PACT chat, bud, but recap the game for us and tell us why Rodgers should not be getting all these excuses made.
So, I just want to give a salute to Tampa and their offense based off the first half they had. Came out in Lambeau, fans back in the stadium. Came out and have a wonderful first drive. Tom Brady was 3 for 3 on third down. Had the third down touchdown to Mike Evans, as well as had a 25-yard throw and catch early on that drive. So they came out firing. And then they just were able to continue to make big plays in the first half. You think about the 50-yard bomb to Godwin. And then, of course, there's the play with Scotty Miller right before half, 11 seconds. And I just love to see that aggressiveness type style because I felt like that's what hindered them, of course, last year in New England, not having those weapons. And Brady wasn't able to be his best. We saw him at his best in the first half. As far as the second half, they can't afford to perform like that in the Super Bowl. 3 turnovers against Mahomes and them, they will capitalize. That defense will live off those turnovers. And at the end of the day, I just felt it came down to the Packers not making enough plays. Of course, they had a rough first half on defense, but at the end of the day, they got 3 chances in the second half, 3 interceptions to go ahead and, make the game theirs, and they didn't. And everyone wants to blame Matt LaFleur for taking the field goal at the end of the game and saying, oh, we're going to need a touchdown anyways. No, I'm sorry, I can't. There's endless third downs where Aaron Rodgers was not at his best in the red zone. Him and Devontae Adams are usually on the same page. You know how I feel about Devontae Adams as the best receiver in football, but it just wasn't there. Their connection. They ended up scoring later, but 1 for 7 in the red zone. I mean, come on, man. When throwing to Adams, you got to be better. But hats off to that Bucks defense, man. They frustrated Rodgers, and it's for the MVP. It was more frustrating for him than I had seen him all year. So it was just a big step in the right direction for that defense. But for the Packers, I mean, can't keep making excuses, man. Can't keep making excuses. Aaron Rodgers is now 1-5 in NFC Championship games. There was all this buzz coming into town about how he was going to perform against Brady. He had never played a game, NFC Championship in Lambeau. Yada yada yada. They didn't come through. Hold him accountable. He comes out in the presser and he's throwing his coach under the bus, and then he's saying, "I'm not really sure." He's not even looking at the camera. "I'm not really sure what's going to happen. A lot of guys' future here uncertain." I get they drafted a quarterback, but you dedicated your whole season to making sure that you guys were in for a championship. And then as soon as that's over, oh, well, I'm not really sure. No, you're sure. You know, you want to be in Green Bay. And my approach would be to add another defensive piece that propels them to making an extra play or two against the Tom Brady, against the Russell Wilson, against maybe coming to conference Deshaun Watson. I don't know. But this is the NFC. You got to continue to get better, add playmakers. We've seen Jair is one of the best is one of the best corners in the league already. Still have Kenny Clark, Zadarius Smith. I just feel like they're a piece away on defense, and they'll be right back in the thick of things, contesting for their third straight NFC Championship game.
Kirk Carter, before we talk about Rodgers after the game and a potential trade, perhaps, what was your takeaways from this game? You saw playoff Lenny go stupid. Playoff Lenny.
Takeaways from the game. The defense is playing at a great level, so that's a major, a good look for Ty Bowles. I did pick against the Bucks, but I wasn't surprised after the 3 turnovers and no scores. You can't do that. When the Bucks beat the Saints, they got turnovers and they scored. That's kind of what the point of getting the turnover is. I feel like the Packers got a little lax in their approach. It was like they weren't. It was like they was forcing throws. I feel like. I know Aaron Jones. The Bucks front four was looking good with Vita Vea back, but I feel like they should have tried to run the ball more. It was like they was leaving it in Rodgers' hands, which I get because that's your best player. But Devontae Adams was in the red zone, targeted 3 times on one drive, and didn't get a single catch. It's like sometimes you got to switch it up and go against the grain. And I think they were sticking to their guns a little too much. Brady really didn't play great to me in the second half. The first half he looked good. The second half he looked terrible. And also in the first half, I feel like they just had one goal in mind, and that was to target Kevin King. And it wasn't a bad strategy. And I think Kevin King don't deserve all the blame. I think some of that play calling on defense was bad as well, because 6 seconds left in the half and you're pressing. Why? And then you're pressing the fastest person on the team. Like Scotty Miller might be the fastest person on the Bucks team, and you're pressing them. So it was just questionable and bad decisions. And that's the same thing that Greg Williams got fired from the Jets from when they lost their game they should have won earlier in the season. So hats off to the Bucks, but you know how I feel about them. So I don't want to get too personal.
I said coming into the postseason, and I said it when they played the Saints last week, I said if they can get the run game going, they're a hard team to beat. And with Leonard Fournette, he's been a bell cow in this postseason, similar to this in 2017 was with the Jaguars. He's just been going just stupid every chance he get. It was remnants of LSU Leonard when he did that spin move and carried them boys and got into the end zone. So playoff Lenny is real. I don't know what Jacksonville thought was going on. Maybe they didn't want to pay him. Maybe they thought they saw something in James Robinson. But Leonard Fournette is that deal. And also, like I said, that defense, man, like Cut said, just stellar all the way. You franchise tag Shaq Barrett because you know he's an elite pass rusher. You got a great secondary. Albeit they do get away a little holding penalties and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's football. And they don't call this, whatever. And they did it without their rookie from Minnesota, Antonio Winfield, right?
Antoine.
Antoine Winfield, right?
Junior.
And yeah, Junior. So hats off to them going into Green Bay, hostile territory, and Brady, man, just LeBron-ness. People said LeBron could have won in the West. What LeBron do? Go to the finals and win in the West. People said NFC harder than the AFC, man. Brady was like, you know what? First season, something slight. Go to the Super Bowl. Well, I'm not gonna get my prediction. I'm gonna wait till next week for my prediction. Give it a week off for the marinade through my system. But before we get off of this game, there was rumors like Damon alluded to that Roger was saying he don't know if he's uncertain about his future. We know they drafted Jordan Love. He has 3 years left on his deal, but really almost 1 more year of extra security because next season there's a chance they can trade him and get value back. What should you do if you're Green Bay? Damon said they need to go out and get a defensive player, but their defense was top 10. Their defense was top 10. Like what?
I still feel like
what?
I'm sure Rodgers likes MVS and Equanimous St. Brown and
Lazard and Tanya.
Lazard. And I mean Tanyan's solidified. Tanyan's gonna be their tight end probably for the next 5 years. He's probably gonna be locked in soon.
Tell me how they could get over this conference championship. This wall. First San Fran, now Tampa Bay. It's like they always hit this wall every year.
You know why? Because you said because of San Fran and Tampa Bay, you're naming the two best divisions in the NFC, and that seems like the two that's gonna keep representing every year. It's gonna always be them two. Somebody from either two, apparently. And you know, and I mean, and at this point, our team's the two next in line. So it's one of us. It's one of our turn.
I would say I think people very much underestimated the value of Tom Brady and what he brings to a team and his experience, especially just what he does on third down and what he's able to do late in football games, late in first half situations. I mean, in both of these situations, Tampa against the Saints and against the Packers were able to get a takeaway before a half and put points on the board. Against the Saints, the field goal, and of course against the Packers, the big Scotty Miller touchdown. And if it wasn't for Godwin having to reach out, that could have been a touchdown versus the Saints. Stuff like that is valuable, very valuable in playoff games. And Tom Brady has brought that to the Patriots. Just seeing for the Packers, I mean, of course, them losing an NFC championship, they could use the old Falcons excuse, we lost to who went to the Super Bowl. But to me, it's just they really matched up well with the Packers, with the Bucks, excuse me. I just feel like they didn't make enough plays down the stretch. With the 49ers, I just felt like that was not a good matchup. So for me next year, I'm going to give the Packers a chance if they play in at Lambeau, no matter who they're up against. But they have to, like I said, they have to get another defensive piece, just somebody, a big name who's going to come in and make a play when you need a play made. There was some chatter a few years back about them on the phone about acquiring Khalil Mack and then not wanting to come off something, and the Bears were able to do it, and now you have to play that guy twice a year. I just think stuff like that is very telling. We look at Green Bay as a team who's never really made a big free agency splash either. So they're going to have to go a little bit out their comfort zone. And, I mean, if I'm Rodgers, that's the biggest thing I'm looking for. What are we doing to try to get over that hump? Are we going to go out and get Will Fuller, who guys say we should have traded for, or Chris Godwin, Galladay from the Lions? A lot of guys in a loaded free agency class. Will we go out and get one of those? Will we draft another quarterback in the first round or another running back?
Do you think they'll retain Aaron Jones?
I definitely think they should retain Aaron Jones. I think
although they got Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon?
Aaron Jones, to me,
I don't think you let him walk.
Yeah, to me, he's one of the best backs in the league. You're talking about big playability. You're talking about receiving ability. You're just talking about somebody who Rodgers trusts already. It's going to be a lot to have to, go to Jamal Williams. I like Jamal Williams. I like that he comes in, breaks tackles, gets a good 10-yard run. I like that, but I don't see him being the difference maker that Aaron Jones is. But I do like Dillon. If they were to go in that, I'm the type of person, I don't like a committee approach and don't go away from what's working. So I think Aaron Jones is a true number one, and I'd like to see him remain in Green Bay.
So we're not giving any energy to Rodgers trade rumors this offseason.
No, he's under contract for 3 more years. I don't have any.
I think the NFL turned into the NBA because Deshaun Watson under contract and he's still requesting a trade.
Well, Deshaun Watson didn't win the Super Bowl with Green Bay and doesn't. I just don't see that. And my
Yeah,
biggest thing is
I see that situation differently, cut.
right. It's just to me. I look at Aaron Rodgers, and his situation is very telling here between the type of player he is and the type of player Brett Favre was. And I'm not the biggest Brett Favre fan in the world, but they drafted Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre already knew what it was and continued to play his game. That's where Aaron Rodgers has to be. And then when your 3 years are up and you still, because it's gonna come to that point where they feel like, hey, all right, it's Jordan's time. That's when Aaron leaves. But there's no situation better for him right now. I'm sorry. I mean, you have the best receiver in football, a Pro Bowl running back, arguably the best line and left tackle in football, a great coach, and some who may argue that the guy has won 13 games in his first 2 years each, been to the NFC Championship in his first 2 years each, won the division each year. I mean, no excuses, A-Rod. You're the MVP. Come out, be the reigning MVP, and get over the hump.
Well said. As we move on to the next matchup on Conference Championship Sunday, as the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions, defeated the Buffalo Bills 38-24 in a game that wasn't really a game, man. Kansas City, after giving up a 9-0 run, they spotted them 9 points after Miko Hardman punt return fumble, 21 unanswered in the first half. Just a complete annihilation. This is the switch I've been referring to with the Kansas City Chiefs. I said prior when they played the Browns last week, I said I don't think they could have the switch where they can just, we're just better than you. That I haven't seen it with the Texans last season, with the Titans last season. But they showed me this week that when you try to down Mahomes, saying that Josh Allen is better than Mahomes, they just say, you know what? Let's lock in. And that defense, I can't say this enough. Very underrated. They get after you. Chris Jones is the second best defensive tackle in football, only behind Aaron Donald. Tyrann Mathieu, the leader of that secondary. Their
best safety now. Is he the best safety now?
I'm giving Earl best safety. Yep. I mean Tyrann. Excuse me.
I was about to say, dang, he's not even in the league.
And not to mention that their corners, Tre'Davious Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, they're just the way they were playing coverage on the Bills receivers. They were just so tight, allowing nothing. So got to give credit to Steve Spagnuolo and that team and the way they've been balling. Dare, I start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from this recap? I mean,
Dirty. I'm trying to tell y'all boys about Dirty. One, I've been trying to tell people about Dirty, but I'm glad he's still getting his shine 2 weeks straight. Everybody get to see it a little bit. Clyde back, so you know what that means. He's gonna get his too. Mahomes is just, I mean, it's like clear cut. He the best quarterback. I mean, no matter what what goes on the regular season, what stats he not getting or whatever, the hype not around him. The hype fell off per se. I kind of knew they still had it in them. Travis Kelce, the best tight end. Tyreek Hill is a top 5 receiver, in my opinion. Where would they miss a beat at? And then, like you said, Tyrann, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, they just know how to win together. So obviously, I guess I'm telling y'all my Super Bowl pick right now based on how I'm talking about them. But I didn't think the Bills would win, and I didn't think they'd get blown out, which they did, and they lost by 14. But that game showed you that they can't mess with them, and the Chiefs, it proved that they could beat you differently than they did the first time.
Mine, before I give it to you, Josh Allen, your boy, your guy. Tell me what's wrong with the Bills, man. What happened?
I mean, I expected the Bills to show a little bit more offensively. You think about the reports, and you always hear it. You heard it with the Saints and everything like that. This guy's fighting through injuries. Cole Beasley, all-pro receiver, somehow played through a broken leg. I get all that. But at the end of the day, this is Josh Allen, all-pro quarterback we're talking about. I expected him to play better. And he looked very similar to Josh Allen before he took his steps. And to me, it's going to be very telling if he can come back next year and get over that hump, continue his high level of play, and get back and contend against this team. But for me, I mean, it just shows you how big the gap is between the Chiefs and everyone else. The Chiefs are the only team where I've seen they've been able to win a football game in all types of ways this year. In addition to that, I mean, how you want it. We can give you 200 rushing yards with any running back we want. Still haven't seen Le'Veon Bell pop up and be what we know he can be in the league. You have Clyde, you have Dirty. They're missing Damian Williams, who's a Super Bowl hero last year. You have Patrick Mahomes, who's about to receive the torch from Tom Brady. Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. I mean, you don't even label them as their position. You just call them weapons because that's what they are. So, I mean, this is a walking juggernaut. We're watching the next dynasty, and I mean, let's not be surprised. We all knew this. This is similar to what Golden State was, and we knew they were coming out. And I know it's football and it's totally different, but we were talking about the Steelers and the Chiefs, and then we talked about the Bills, and the Bills are playing football as good as anyone and have won 11 straight, I believe, or something along those lines. They were just dominating folks. The Chiefs came in and dismantled them. So, got to give them their credit. And, I'm riding with the Chiefs for the Super Bowl as well. But we'll talk about our Super Bowl picks in a minute.
What's next for the Bills? How can they get over this massive hump that is the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, what piece do they need to add? Is it the growth of Josh Allen's game? Another defensive piece? What does this team need? Cut Carter, go.
I think they need another corner. I like the way Teron Johnson came on. And I like the way Levi Wallace played and Trey White, but another one won't hurt. Or just the DB in general. Poyer and Michael Hyde are good, but it's like they need like that flex, that impact guy, that Tyrann or that Chauncey, like in the slot kind of. It's like that would help them a lot. Linebacking core is pretty solid. D-line is pretty solid. Another pass rusher wouldn't hurt. Defensive end.
Yeah, that's what I was going to think. I think they need
defensive end wouldn't be bad either. The defensive end and then like a flex type of a DB. Those are the biggest two needs. The offense don't seem bad to me.
But wait.
I think Dawson Knox could be a good tight end. He just got to get more. He can't be dropping. He dropped a lot of passes. If he stopped drops, because he's fast, he's big. He stopped drops, they'll be fine.
I think they definitely need a running back. They need a run game.
I don't want to disrespect Singletary and
you can disrespect them. It's cool.
No, I don't think it's a disrespect word. It's Singletary and what's the other one? Zach Moss and Yeldon. Yeldon didn't look that bad in that game. That was the first time.
Yeldon didn't play like all season. They just used them this game specifically. So I think
Yeldon comes in specifically in pass catching roles, so
right.
Their approach is. But
I didn't want to cut y'all, but a team like that, if Najee Harris there first round, why not?
Yeah,
that'll be perfect because he could do everything.
Yeah,
but I know people don't like taking running backs early, but their pick won't be that good. It'll be bottom 4 pick in the draft in the round, first round. So Najee Harris probably because it won't be the elite pass rushers probably won't be there by that point. So why not take Najee Harris?
Demond, what you think? What you think they should do before I go?
I wouldn't hate to see them get another running back. Their wide receiver core is loaded. I just agree with Derek. In terms of a pass rusher, you do need that transcendent pass rusher if you're going to be chasing after Mahomes. They just don't have it right now. But in terms of answering your question, Bruiser, I don't think there's anything they can do to get over the hump. I mean, like, you can have all the best players in the world, and I mean, the Chiefs are still going to contend. They have, like, what don't they have? So at this point, I'm not sure you can get over the hump, but for the Bills, their definite need would be a pass rusher.
Do y'all think is Yannick Ngakoue re-signed or is he a free agent now?
I think Baltimore. I think I think Baltimore is going to try to re-sign him, but
okay. But if I'm saying somebody like that, or wouldn't it be a bad option? I mean, he not as what he was, but I mean, there's also a lot of turmoil in his career this year, like the constant.
Yes, he's no longer. He's an unrestricted free agent this summer.
Yeah, somebody like that. I feel like, well, even if it's not him, I feel like they should sign a defensive end, and they should actually. They don't need to get a draft one; they need to sign one.
I think.
Oh, Trey Hendrickson is available as well because we couldn't re-sign him. Something like that. That's not. It's like they have options out there. Trey Hendrickson was top 5 in sacks this year. It might have been higher than that. I just
said it 2 or 3. I think it was.
Yeah, he might have been 3rd.
Do with Aaron Donald. Yep.
Yeah. So if we can't get him back, why not make a run at him?
I think
It's talent at that position that's gonna be available. Whereas the running back position is kind of like you could bring in somebody that's already in the league, like a Mike Davis from the Panthers, or you can
Aaron Jones. We just talked about a running back.
right.
I think this team just need because I agree with you with the pass rusher part and the running back part. I think just a change in mentality with to believe in the run game. In the conference championship game, Josh Allen was their leading rusher and he was the leading rusher in yards and carrying most in touches. Singletary had 6, Yoda had 3, and Isaiah McKenzie had 2. I think they just need a better mentality when it comes to running the ball and just even if it's not there, just attempt to stay consistent with it. I know you have all pro Diggs, all pro Cole Beasley, and the quarterback, I think, was he second team all pro Josh Allen?
Yep.
Yeah, you have all pro all around, but it's the playoffs, man. It's all about getting gritty. You got to get dirty. You got to get your hands in your mud. So I think this is a valuable experience for Sean McDermott. They kept their OC Brian Dable as well, so that's a huge boost for next season. I just think having the mindset of running the ball just to take the pressure off of Josh Allen will be huge next season.
I agree.
Yep. Any news? We're not doing our Super Bowl predictions this week, but we'll do that next week. Any more conference championship news before I go over some NFL news real quick?
NFL.
All right. Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade from the Houston Texans, even after they hired their new head coach. New head coach name is David Culley. He was an assistant coach. He was the wide receiver coach and pass game coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. And now Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade.
Why would he was the wide receiving coach and what else?
And the passing game coordinator.
He was also the assistant head coach. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a black. And so the Texans did hire a black man, just not
black.
He's black. Yeah. Yes, for sure, he's black.
Okay, but that wide receiver coach caught me off guard because I don't remember them having any good ones in the last 2 years.
I mean, that can be true, but
it might not be his fault, but in the last 2 years, maybe he helped Willie Snead revitalize his career. So
there was a report that said him and Deshaun Watson met at last year's Pro Bowl when the Ravens were coaching that team, and they thought they hit it off. They thought that would be a good match, but Deshaun Watson just wants out, man. He's tired of it.
Y'all gonna announce the coach today? Bet I'm gonna announce I want to leave today too.
I think it just became public today. So we talked about it.
The coach probably took that job with the thought of him being there.
Maybe. So before you said tomorrow?
You should have paid attention to the headlines.
So we talked about where would Deshaun Watson go. Did your destinations change? Where would you like to see him?
No, still the same for me.
I would still like to see him in places, but I think in terms of who has enough to get him, you got to look at the Jets. I'm not sure how true that story was of the leaked report that the Jets are number 1, Dolphins number 2, but it'd be very interesting on my side if the Jets were able to trade that first-round pick in addition to their first-round pick for Deshaun Watson. It'd just be very interesting, but I'm happy as long as he doesn't come to the NFC. Do what you must.
I felt that energy. I felt that. Another quarterback that is departing is Matthew Stafford. 32 or 33 years old. UGA football legend. Go Dogs. Woo woo. He's now wants to depart now after the new head coach Dan Campbell agreed that they should mutually part ways. Where would you guys like to see Matthew Stafford? Cut Carter, you can go first.
The obvious choice and the clear cut walk in and still be able to go to the playoffs option would be the Colts. It's literally like a match made in heaven. Oh, Philip, you retired. We're gonna bring in Stafford. Perfect. The Saints keep getting mentioned because everybody feels like Drew Brees is done, and I feel like he should be done. But
talk about it.
He still hasn't made an announcement, and the Saints probably don't want to pay Stafford's price tag because he's still on a big contract. Like he signed that contract like 2 years ago. It wasn't that long ago when he got that bread. Plus the Saints are in salary cap hell. Let everybody else tell it. That's pocket watching. But every season, Mickey Loomis finds a way to get him under the cap.
No.
But I don't know if he's gonna be the answer to our problems. Even though the quarterback is the problem, I just don't know if Stafford's gonna answer that problem.
Oh, he has an arm for sure, but
he has an arm, but it's like that wasn't the only problem. Like, even though Drew didn't have an arm, the short stuff was good. So Can he walk in and be on the timing and have the accuracy that we need and on the intermediate screens, the all that? We don't know. Because that's not really his game. But then my third choice, because I'm gonna do three. Like the Patriots keep getting mentioned, and it makes sense because it's the Patriots. But again, why would you leave Detroit to go be in New England for the same situation?
Got you. Before I let you go, Damon, I'll just say mine. I agree. The Colts is a fantastic situation for him to go. I don't feel there's bad blood between Stafford and their front office, so I think they will be willing to trade him in conference, and I could see the Washington football team potentially trying to go after him. They have a great defense, a true number one receiver, a great coach, an emerging running game, and I just think Stafford just going in there, being stability that they thought Alex Smith was, he just come in there and just be a nice boost. Another team, this is a long shot, but what if they decide let's do our next year first and Stafford for Deshaun Watson? Let's try something.
Let's
Maybe
get crazy.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think Houston will accept that. But Washington and Indy for sure are my top two picks. Damon, what say you?
I would definitely say my favorite spot for Matthew Stafford, and I'm totally unbiased when I say this because I would not like to play him twice a year. He's just a wild character, wild guy, always been a wild game being in Detroit. But I could see him with the 49ers. They're desperately, in my opinion, in need for a new quarterback. And I just see Matthew Stafford as somebody who can come in and do nothing but add to what you already have. Brandon Ayuk, who we've seen can be an exciting player. Debo Samuel, George Kittle, if not, has an argument for best tight end. Not really with me anymore, but we know what he can do.
I was telling you a year ago.
I would like to see. I would like to see Stafford and San Fran. I just believe outside of New Orleans, maybe that would be the best all-around situation for him to come in, gel with a coach. The weapons are there and the defense is there. So the 49ers have a lot to build with Robert Saleh leaving and him taking I believe their passing game coordinator, running backs coach to be offensive coordinator in New York. Yep. But I think Stafford would be the best fit for the 49ers. It would be a great fit for both sides.
Gotcha. And last but not least for our NFL news, which head coaching hiring was your favorite? The candidates that were hired were Robert Saleh to the New York Jets, Nick Sirianni to the Philadelphia Eagles, Urban Meyer to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Brandon Staley to the Los Angeles Chargers, Arthur Smith to the Atlanta Falcons, David Culley to the Houston Texans, and last but not least, Dan Campbell to the Detroit Lions. Which one were you the most excited for that will make a great football franchise great again?
I would say Urban Meyer. I mean, talk about excitement. You're talking about something college at least being brought up to the next level. It's going to have the first round pick. It brings excitement, draft day news. I mean, we all feel like Trevor is the consensus number one. But you have those Ohio State ties. You know he's going to talk to your boy Day at Ohio State about, you think I should take Justin? I mean, it's very interesting. They have a lot to work with. They already have some talent. So to bring Urban Meyer there, who we've seen win with talent before, of course, on the college level. But I just think it's interesting the things Jacksonville will be able to do. And if you can put them back in a position to contend. They're very young. He signed on for more than a couple of years. So they have an opportunity to build this thing. And I think you get Urban Meyer under the right system with the right amount of talent, he'll be able to make some things move.
Oh, Cook Carter.
My favorite hire is probably Robert Saleh. I really didn't like any of the other ones that much. Nothing really excited me. The Falcons one made me think, okay, they're definitely sticking with what they have. They're not blowing it up. I think, and they brought in your boy from the Saints. I can't believe I forgot his name. As the GM, I think he'll bring in a lot of talent because he's part of what's been going on in New Orleans the last couple of years with them bringing in Sanders
Terry
and Terry Fortuné. I'm probably saying it wrong, so apologies. But he was the reason they brought in so much. He was a part of the reason why they brought in so much new talent in the last couple of years, because the Saints usually don't make big free agency splashes. But Emmanuel Sanders was one you can attribute to. I think he was a part of the Demario Davis bringing him in, bringing Malcolm Jenkins back. So the Saints were more active with him in a more important role. However, I don't know much about the coach, and I just don't see the Falcons having that type of success like the Titans had as far as that offense, unless he's bringing in a new running back probably as well. And I will give him credit though for how he turned the Titans into a better passing team, because that can't be overlooked. Everybody thinks Derrick Henry is all they have, but Tannehill actually had a career revival, and AJ Brown and Corey Davis started getting active, and Jonnu Smith. But Robert Saleh coming from the Niners, that defense, the Jets already have decent pieces to build around and build on. And I think the Jets is the one organization in the league that's due for like a revival. Like, it's been a minute. It's been since like the Mark Sanchez days that we've seen them be, competitive. So maybe this defensive change and this new culture change could be what gets them in the right direction. The Jags is a good choice too. I just don't know about Urban. When I hear about college coaches coming from college and to the NFL, I get a little worried.
Heard you. And my favorite head coaching hire was Brandon Staley, 38 years old, the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. He know the offense as well, so they went defensive minded, and they also got Joe Lombardi from the New Orleans Saints to be their OC to get Justin Herbert and that offense going again. And he was a great DC last year with the Los Angeles Rams with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. He also, and people say it's the drop off in talent. No, it's not. All this team needs to do is just stay healthy. You have Derwin James, you have Joey Bosa, you have Casey Hayward, you have Chris Harris. You have a great secondary. You have a lethal front four. Your linebacker core is shaky, but you did draft Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. This team can be scary, man, with next season. With the upside of Justin Herbert after his impressive rookie season. It's all about their defense can stay healthy, man. They've been wronged by injuries for the past couple of seasons, especially their all-pros safety Derwin James. But if this team can stay healthy, stay committed, and just finish out games, the team can be something special. And I think Brandon Staley is the right man for the job. Young coach. You see the young coaches taking over the league. Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay. So it's nice to see, and will be fun to watch for sure. Is there any NFL news, man, before you shift to the NBA? Okay, Carter, any news? Nope. I got you. Okay. And we're going straight to you, Carter, for the NBA news. Lonzo Ball and JJ Reddick are on the block. What's going on in New Orleans, man? This is a blow up. You're the second worst team in the West. No, don't cut me off. Let me build up to it.
Eric Bledsoe as well.
Oh, Eric Bledsoe. All right. Talk to me. What are the Pelicans doing?
So when you're coming off a win, this is before the rumors, though. This is after the rumors. The rumors started today's Thursday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Pelicans played the Wizards, and BI and Zion both dropped 32, combined for 64. Lonzo and Bledsoe played decent minutes in the game, and JJ Reddick didn't play that often, and he only had 5 points. I think JJ ran his course last year. I think when we didn't make the playoffs, he should have been already the first person you shipped out. He deserves better as a veteran, and he's a valuable asset to have in his league. But with us not competing like where we should be, I know for sure that he should get traded. But Lonzo before the bubble was playing great, like probably the best basketball he's ever played. And ever since, it's kind of like he's been fighting. Everybody's been kind of talking bad about him because he hasn't been able to reach that point again. However, I think Lonzo is not. I wouldn't call Lonzo bad. I don't consider Lonzo bad at all. I don't think he's and then a lot of people trying to blame the New Orleans as the problem, but I just think sometimes when it don't work, it don't work. And he's on a contract year. Whoever gets him has bird rights because we have bird rights. He's the number 2 overall pick. I mean, sometimes a change of scenery could do you well. Like, look at Markelle Fultz before his injury. Hope you get well as soon, by the way. But he got to Orlando and his life changed as far as on the court. So Lonzo didn't want to, like, Lonzo got traded for a package. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo got traded for AD. He really didn't have much of a say. So I hope Lonzo ends up somewhere good. I like the Warriors idea. I feel like JJ Reddick is a good person to plug in with that Warriors team, but some people are saying Lonzo should start and he would fit well with Curry and he wouldn't feel as much pressure to shoot. But I don't know. But I think him going to Golden State would probably be good for him mentally, being closer to home. And he'll probably thrive and learn a lot from Steph. And as far as Bledsoe go, Bledsoe was just a part of a deal to get rid of Drew, but I think Bledsoe also deserves better at this point in his career.
So, if I'm hearing you right,
go young. We should go young.
This is a rebuild. New Orleans Pelicans.
It's not a rebuild. Right, it's a realization, because if the Pelicans look at the Hawks, which is my favorite as far as building, they're doing what the Warriors did. You build your own team. You don't have to trade to be built. You don't have to trade to get good. You can have young dudes that level up and get better, and then old veterans will want to come play with them. Do I like the signing Gallinari and Bogdanovich? No, not personally, but I get it. Like, as from a logistical standpoint, for the Pelicans, it is, look at the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies they aren't winning right now either, but they're young.
The Grizzlies are the AFC right now. They're 7-6,
and they ain't played a game in like 8 days.
Okay,
they're dealing with the COVID bug. But look at them. Look at the Timberwolves. They're young. If you look at these teams that are that are coming up, is most of them are young. So why are we trying to build?
But they have veteran experience too, though.
Right, but why are we trying to build around BI and Zion, who haven't even been to the playoffs yet, with playoff veterans?
So, I'm trying to get a sense of like what the Pelicans are trying to do.
If it's a rebuild, it's a rebuild. If I ain't gonna lie, them being the 14th seed is a problem for me.
That is a disappointment.
Right. So
some people say this is a playoff team coming into the year.
Right. So if they're gonna blow it up now, I guess now will be the best time because we already pissed. So go ahead.
What assets are like? Do you think they want to like? What do they need per se?
You need more picks. You drafting all these young players, but you don't play them. It don't make sense. You drafted Kira Lewis Jr., the first round pick. He's like 16th overall, 15th overall pick. He looks decent, but you don't play him. You got Josh Hart. Josh Hart is the only person that I could say out of that Laker trade, other than BI, obviously, that's actually contributing. Lonzo contributed last year. This year, he's not looking as good, but he is coming off an injury. It's just Stan Van Gundy was a good coach to hire on paper, but I don't know if he was the right coach.
I hear you.
Because the offense, we're scoring points, but we can't stop nobody. The defense looks terrible. And bringing in Steven Adams didn't make sense to me because he's a veteran. He deserves to be somewhere too, a better team, because you got Jackson Hayes that you just drafted last year that doesn't play that many minutes. It's just, what's the point of drafting these dudes if you're not going to let them get some burn? And they all top, like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jackson Hayes, and Zion was all in the same draft. They were like the top 3 of the top 11 or 16 picks. Why are we not using them? Nickeil Alexander dropped a career high at 37 points when he played and started against the Clippers. Let him play.
We're getting 20 minutes.
As we welcome, man, Slim Reaper. Jace, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just got done working out.
Damon, I'll go to you. You have been on and on it since James Harden went to the Brooklyn Nets. Talk to me about the Nets. Another close game in overtime with the Hawks. Talk to us, man. What have you seen from your Brooklyn Nets this week, rather?
I'm really liking how my Nets are looking. I'm not gonna lie. They're starting to put it together. They're starting to understand roles. As far as the big three, it's very clear that Harden runs the second unit. Jeff Green is shooting the three at a very high clip this year. I don't know. He was dunking on John Collins, Capella. I just was not expecting that. And something that's right. And something that's always been good for Harden is to have that big where he easily gets to the lane. That big man's going to rotate over, just throws the lob, and DeAndre Jordan's finishing. So, as I've been saying, I would like to see them cape Jared Allen. That's something they tried to do, but just didn't work out that way. It's very clear that Steve Nash wants to keep Kyrie and KD on the floor at the same time, and they look great together when they do, so I don't blame them. A valuable piece for the Nets is Joe Harris. Even last night, late in the game, he did get fouled out as they went to overtime, but he was the primary handler on Trae Young. And Trae Young struggled. He did because of the free throw line. Of course, Joe Harris fouling out. But they were able to win the game and keep Trae Young at a minimum. So for the Nets, it's just going to continue to be about, can they play defense on the perimeter? And we know they're going to be able to score, but it's going to come down to their defense and their effort and being able to stop turning over the ball. We know Harden's always done that, but something I'm noticing is he's shooting at a very efficient rate. He just needs to take care of the turnovers. I would also like to see them get a big piece, whether that be JaVale, and he's come up in trade rumors. I even saw a report about Andre Drummond buyout and the Nets being the first name on his name. If that happens, then they are contenders for sure. So that just seems a little bit too far-fetched for me, though. Andre Drummond is not somebody you expect to be a buyout candidate. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But as they are now, I still like them to come out the East. It's just not looking good for a Lakers series.
Heard you.
You let Drummond walk off a buyout, that'd be crazy. Like
crazy.
Hey, Jay.
He's too valuable to just let walk like that. He lead the league in rebounds. Like,
right.
You be keeping up with your Lakers, Jace?
Yeah, a little bit.
What happened last night when they played the Sixers, boy? What happened?
Hey man, it's basketball.
He ain't watch.
AD hit a big shot. AD hits a big shot. And Tobias Harris is a bigger shot, bro. It's basketball, bro.
Great analysis. Appreciate that.
I felt that.
Show was missing that for real.
Before I'll let you guys have your other takeaways. I just want to just go around the NBA real quick. Just ask a couple questions about a couple teams. And I start with the Utah Jazz. They're 14-4. They won 10 straight games. They're the number one seed in the Western Conference Finals. Why don't we give this team respect?
I don't know, bro.
RESPCT.
I don't know.
You said who again?
The Utah Jazz.
You said Mr. Average?
Jace, negativity.
Not the time. Man, Rudy Gobert dropped 29 and 20 last night. Nobody wants to talk about it, so I will.
Tell him do it every night.
I mean, who's dropping 30 and 20 every night?
Saying he was crying. You see how much money he made, bro? I'm with Shaq on that, bro. Shaq could call him out. I can't call him out. I ain't SHIT.
Well, now that we got to that, my boy KD says stop listening to them idiots. I agree.
He was not talking about Shaq. He wasn't talking about Shaq.
He
Can't be talking about Shaq.
You talking about Charles Barkley. You want to talk about Shaq.
But you know he
talking about Shaq. Shaq is the top 10 player. Shaq is the top 10 player all time, bro. If I'm gonna let anybody criticize me, I want it to be Shaq.
But I think it was like the bigger issue.
And
Shaq was trying to make it. Shaq was trying to let it be known, like, play up to your contract, bro. Be more than just defensive. Like you
But the way he went about it is wrong.
Shaq always act like that though. He been doing that. Bro.
He low-key treating him like JaVale, but like on a higher level.
He's treating him like JaVale, and then him and JaVale cool now because it's like it wasn't personal.
It was personal.
Like Donovan Mitchell didn't take it personal.
We're off top.
You can't tell me it's not personal with Dwight.
Oh, he just don't like Dwight because Dwight took his
yeah.
Talking about you Superman, and then I was Superman, Shaq Diesel when I was in the league, and you on the Magic that I used to play.
It just kind of feel like Shaq. I know Shaq's job is to cover the NBA with TNT, but he be. Come on, you gotta call a spade cutting, Jace. He be kind of hated. I know it's Shaq, so people not gonna call him out on it, but the way it's like with the like similar to music when the old heads are talking down on young people, they don't like that. And I know you seasoning the game, you can always tell me such and such, but I don't have to listen to you. I could dead ass ignore what you're saying.
Don't have to listen.
You're coming at me about it.
I mean, bro, but look, with the music, nah, that's kind of getting off topic. But the music thing, it be really the old heads that weren't even good when they were old. I mean, when they were in, like, it be the old heads that not good. Like,
Jay-Z said, please don't. What he said? Please don't die over your neighborhood that your mama renting. Some people didn't like that. Somebody like Jay-Z.
That's facts though. Like it's not like he lying.
But shut up. Just tell me that.
Jay-Z can make comments on stuff because he's
like he can make that comment, bro. Like he came up from the bottom.
I'm just saying it's the way.
He's also the ultimate cosign.
Yeah.
When Jay-Z drops his little playlist and you on that playlist,
It's just it was
You know who got
analogy,
you
but
know who
it's
got
just the
Jay-Z
way you go
cosigns
about
and
it.
blew up more? I can just
What?
be honest with you. You know who got Jay-Z cosigns and from it they blew up more?
Yeah.
Meg, Uzi.
There, you're missing the point.
I'm just saying. I'm with
You're
Jay
missing
on
the
that.
point.
There's certain people.
Just think about
The
it, bro. Like,
top 10 people are the people you want the cosign. So if they talking about you, they
who is
want
Shaq co-signing? Because he has
You-
the co-sign. All you
Yo,
do
I
is
saw
throw under the bus.
Shaq cosigns a lot of players.
Who?
who.
He didn't even know who Christian Wood was. Oh, I'm just starting to get on your game, young fella.
Nobody knew who Christian Wood was.
After
Name 3 teams Christian Wood played for before the Rockets.
I know he played for the 76ers.
76ers.
I'm just saying
Pistons.
this year.
76ers, Pistons, and he played with the Pelicans. We had him first. He was a rookie with us.
I'm just saying this year after Christian Wood was scoring 20 points, 8 rebounds, Shaq is like, oh yeah, young fella. I mean, you still got a long way to go, and he does. But like, Shaq didn't give him no credit. And then Donovan. Oh, so we gonna disregard what he said about Donovan?
Donovan's
Bro, he said that for a reason. So like,
he
bro,
literally said it.
Don-
He said to Donovan, he said, bro, I'm saying this because I expect best out you. I can see what you can be. I can see that you
and
can.
then what Donovan say? All right, we don't go.
No, that's not what he said. All right, you didn't watch it live.
He's saying
You didn't watch it live. He said, all right, to when Shaq said, what if I told you that I don't think you could do it? I don't think you could take it to another level. I don't think you could do it. He was like, all right. He was like, yeah, I'm just saying that to let you know though. I want to see
he
you
liked
doing
your
it.
response. He liked your response.
And he was like, oh, he didn't. But that's the point. Donovan was like, all right, like, I don't care. I mean, my bad. He's like, all right, I don't care. But the point of it was to get him motivated. He was like, I'm saying that to motivate you. And then Donovan was like, oh, okay, I get it. But it's not, bro, you can't, bro. It's commentary.
I don't know about the really
Why would
bad
Shaq
thing.
do something he get more flack than when Paul Pierce be hating on there all the time?
Yeah.
It's people don't like Paul Pierce though.
Paul Pierce hate on LeBron all the
You be
time.
talking about Chris Webber, Paul. I mean, it's their job though. But I think Shaq is like low key one of the people. If he told me I expect more out of you, I'd be like, I'm gonna do that.
But what if he said it while talking down on you? Like he's a
Bro,
bum. He doesn't shoot from the mid range. He 10 to 12. I need more. What are you doing?
Shaq
I
couldn't
can
even
do that.
shoot for the mid range. That's how you get him. You be like, Shaq couldn't even shoot for the mid range. If it's that
Very
comment, I think he just expects big men to actually be big men, and he knows that the game's changing. So when he see big men that are more susceptible to shooting threes and shooting mid range, it's not as he not gonna gas it or talk about it as much as he would a big man that's dominated. I ain't never heard him say nothing bad about Andre Drummond.
They never in the postseason.
You stop right now.
I gotta be in the postseason to talk about him.
Yes, you do. He ain't covering. They're not covering Jeremy Grant and Detroit. And
Okay, but Andre Drummond still not like one of like.
I haven't heard Shaq say nothing about Karl Anthony Towns. And Cat is one of the best bigs in the basketball. So winning matters. Winning matters.
That's true.
Hey, we got our topic. Utah Jazz. Why don't we respect this team?
Because Shaq don't give him credit.
Like, no, Shaq said they biggest star don't got it in them all the way. And I see it.
But what talk to us, Jason. What do you mean he don't have it all the way? Like how didn't he show you had it? He went crazy in the bubble game 7. He beat the Thunder in his first playoff series and went to advance to the second round. It's not his fault. You got to run into LeBron or the Warriors or the Rockets.
Nuggets, Jace, but you were so in love with the Nuggets, if I'm correct. But he took them to 7 games.
He did, but didn't they go farther?
What don't you like about the Jazz? Jace, talk to us.
Bro, the Jazz, I don't know, bro. The Jazz, I feel like they put that team together the wrong way.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I feel like they put that team together the wrong way. I feel like that team can't go to the finals. I feel like that team can't go like I don't know. I just feel like they can't go
let's lessen our expectations of the finals because we know LeBron's in the West. Let's say conference.
Ain't that the ultimate goal?
I understand that, but no one's going to argue with you that this team's a finals team because we all think the Lakers are coming out. But let's say conference finals. Do you think they can make it to the conference finals?
No.
And why not? Like why? Like why not?
You got the Lakers and the Nuggets, bro.
The Nuggets aren't in the playoff race right now, so.
You said what?
The Nuggets aren't in the playoff race right now.
Nah, they're the 4th seed right now.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Y'all are talking about right now. We still have like 72 more games to go.
There's
So why don't
72
you respect
games
the Jazz?
season, bro.
Huh? There's 82 games in the season.
No, they made it 72, bro.
All right. So we got 52 more games. My fault.
Jace, why don't you respect the Jazz?
I just told you. I just don't feel like they can go.
The Jazz deserve respect, and Donovan Mitchell deserves credit. Gobert
They deserve it, yes, but they're not gonna go nowhere.
No. But
we all know that.
Not going nowhere. If not going nowhere means losing to the Lakers, I think that's okay.
But they lost to the Nuggets too.
But they really shouldn't have. They really should have.
It was up 3-1 on the Nuggets.
They should have beat them. It's a learning, bro, and they took that personal. It's a learning experience. I think the Jazz could be a good playoff team. I don't think they could beat the Lakers, but I think they could be a good playoff team.
Do you think they can make the conference finals, cut, Carter?
Yes. Well, it depends on where they fall at, but yes, they can make the conference finals. The Jazz are good enough. The Blazers just did it. I think the Jazz team is more put together than that Blazers team was last year. So yes.
Got you.
And they also have veterans. That's when you get veterans. See, that's when you get veterans. When you got your star established and you got your second star established, then you bring in veterans like Mike Conley and got his name, Bogdanovich and all those boys. And they got Joe Ingles, who's a veteran now because he's been on that team for a long time. That's when you bring in a veteran experience to get you over the hump.
Got you. Last but not least, my other team is the Philadelphia 76ers. I lied so hard. My bad. The Washington Wizards are my last team. They're 3-11. Bradley Beal is putting up stellar numbers, but these are in blowout victories. I said in the chat, I think Scott Brooks will be fired soon. I hate to say it. This team is, and I like to note, this team is losing with and without Westbrook. So I think it's bigger than a central Westbrook issue. I don't think Bradley Beal will request a trade yet. I think he's going to keep balling. But if he doesn't, I think if he misses the All-Star game again, as well as the playoffs, and they're like a top 5 team in the NFL, in the NBA draft, I do think next offseason we will hear rumors of Bradley Beal wanting out. So what do you guys think was going on with the Wizards? How can they resolve these issues? Anybody?
You can't. You can't.
Defense is horrible.
Fire sale. Let's get rid of Westbrook and Bradley Beal and start over. Let's do it. That's what we want to see. We want to see Bradley Beal in a better situation. The league wants to see Russell Westbrook in a better situation. So let's do it. I'd like to see Westbrook on a potential third contender, and this man here. I would like to see. I would like to see Westbrook. Maybe on a. Me personally, I don't.
What about
think
Bill? Stop. What about Bill? I know where you're going. Just talk to Bill for me, bud.
I would love to see Bradley Beal in Golden State. I mean, you had another shooter, and we talked about that in the PACT chat today. If I'm Golden State, I'm not giving up Draymond because he's our identity. He is what we bring to the table. But I'm giving up Wiseman, I'm giving up Wiggins, I'm giving up how many ever picks I need to, calling whatever team I need to, hey, man, can you get involved in this trade for us so we can get Bradley Beal? I'm doing that. But Curry, Clay, and Draymond are untouchable to me unless I'm acquiring AD, not happening, LeBron, not happening, Kyrie, So I'm keeping my big three, and I'm trying to get Bradley Beal. I would like to see Bradley Beal in Golden State.
Jace, where would you like to see Bradley Beal if they were to move him this season or next offseason?
I would say the same thing as Damon with the Golden State thing, but Wiseman is an untouchable for me, honestly. Wiggins, they can take him. They can go ahead and take him. They can do a little package deal with Wiggins and Kelly Oubre if they want to.
They're gonna need a little bit more than that for Bill.
No, and then some more picks and stuff like that. Just add on that.
No, I think they like another player.
Right, Wiseman,
Draymond or Wiseman, that deal,
Curry,
bro.
Drake.
Sorry.
I mean, if Curry, Clay, Draymond and Wiseman, bro, like Wiseman has so much upside. That's why I wouldn't get rid of him. But I will understand if they do get rid of him and try to get Bradley because like that's a big piece. That's a big piece that you can do. You can move in. Who is their best? I don't know. Do they have another big man that's 7 foot?
The
No,
Warriors.
Kevon
like-
Looney.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I would keep that big. I don't know. They have the pieces to get Bradley Beal. I'm pretty sure they would consider it, but I don't think they get rid of Wiseman, get Bradley. I don't think it's a lose situation, but at the same time, I feel like Wiseman, he'll be on the Wizards, or unless they do like a little 3-way trade or anything like that. Wiseman on the Wizards, that'll be his team, or it'll end up being his team. So, hey, see another AD situation.
Yuck. Ew. Jace, any other NBA takeaways that you noticed this past week?
LeBron he still got it, bro. LeBron he still got it right now. Y'all seen 2020? He has 20 points, 5 for 5 at halftime. I don't know what the score is right now, but hey, he still got it. That's all I gotta say.
So you
That's
gotta
the only
say,
thing that matters.
heard you. Damon, NBA takeaways this past week.
I already spoke on my Nets. I'm very impressed with what I see over the 76ers. Last year and years prior, you would not have seen them prepare for a Wednesday night game against the Los Angeles Lakers, a number 1 seed in basketball. They would just seem ill prepared, and albeit this game was at home, and this Philly team has had success at home over the past couple of years, and on the road is where they need to improve. But coming into last night's game, LeBron and them were undefeated on the road, 10-0, I believe. So just for Embiid and his MVP case and the way they came out and played, and Tobias Harris for, in my opinion, how bad he played in the playoffs last year against the Celtics, just to see him be that closer and play that role for them is very vital and something they're going to need down the stretch. And I believe Doc Rivers has done what he's needed to do in getting the best out of every player on this roster, including the superstar we all believe Joel Embiid to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing Philly continue to grow, and I believe they are the Nets. I would say the Bucks are the Nets' biggest roadblock to making the finals, but the 76ers with Embiid could definitely give them trouble inside. So watch out for Philly.
Heard you. Carter, are you talking to us today, or we can move on?
Yes, man. I can talk. I'm here. I was listening.
NBA takeaways.
Takeaways. Boom. Let's get right into it. Nets still need to learn how to play defense. They let the Hawks put up a lot of points on them last night. But that's really the only knock on them. The offense is there like everybody expected it to be. Lakers gonna Laker. Them losing regular season games don't really mean much because they good for that. Clippers are surprising still, but I don't know if that's the coaching change that's making them surprising. They should have been this good last year, to be honest. Pelicans, disappointed, like I said earlier. I always got to talk about them, give us a little shine, but disappointed is just the one word I could use to describe them. Proud, though, I could use that word to describe B.I. and Zion. They're holding their own. They're holding their own, and they both averaging 20-something plus. Who else I was thinking about? Rockets. Rockets don't seem that bad with Depot and John Wall and Boogie starting because Christian Wood was out. They don't seem that bad. PJ Tucker is getting the short end of the stick as far as his points, but he never really cared to score unless it was the goal.
Rockets are 7-9 on a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah. That's I guess I could leave the West alone right now. In the East, somebody's hurt. I forgot who it was. Is it Lowry or is it
Lowry?
Anunoby? I don't know. But Norman Powell been starting. Bucket getter. He's been getting buckets. Norman Powell as a starter been getting buckets for the Raptors. Jason Tatum back. Celtics gonna start getting into their groove.
OG.
Top 5, no debating.
OG
Top 5.
And then the Hawks, Capella's coming on strong. Better than I thought. Way better than I thought. I didn't think he really was worth it last year, but because he didn't play, but he's looking promising. And Wizards, I am a part of the now Free Bradley Bill campaign, but I don't think it's Russ foul either. So I think they should free him too, if possible.
Got you. Devon funny. Got you. Before we move on and go into music, I have two things to say to note. Number one, NBA All-Star voting is now open. I'd just like to give you guys a friendly reminder that fans account for 50% of the starter votes, players count as 25% of the vote, and the media counts as 25% of the vote for all-star starters. And for reserves, that is 100% voted on by the coaches. Just getting that out there. We know the snubs are coming. We know you're going to be mad that this player who scored 28, 29 points per game didn't make it over somebody who scored 21 points per game. We know. We get it. It's the system. It may be flawed, yes, but it's the system. And lastly, before we move on to music, I think I said this last year while it was live when me and Brandon, Lil B, did a podcast that said, is this Domantas Sabonis an NBA star? I said it at the time, I think he is, because at the time he was top 3 in double-doubles. But seeing what he's doing post-injury after he missed the bubble, 20 points per game, 20.3 rebounds, and 5.8 assists. I mean, I know Indiana's not a big market, but that's a star in my opinion, the way he's been balling since being traded to Indiana. It's his team, in my opinion. I know a couple weeks ago y'all said it was Brogdon's team, but because he leads the league and the team in points, I believe. But Sabonis is a hooper, and he's an NBA star, and he will make the All-Star game. So be on the lookout for that. I ain't trying to hear no Sabonis slander in the next couple of weeks.
Wait, how many rebounds did you say?
12.3.
Okay, you said 20 at first.
Yeah, my bad. 20 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 5.8 assists. Walking double-double, and he be getting triple-doubles games too. So proud of his growth and development. And that's OKC alum, so I got to shout him out.
I knew it. I knew that was the only reason you was boosting that.
But you what?
Knew that was the only reason you were boosting that. Next.
Music, Carter. Jace, we're doing a top 5 J. Cole for his birthday today. Just putting that out there for you right now, brother. Carter.
For sure.
Dirkio.
And it put drop night.
Even though I heard them leaks.
A whole lot of leaks.
Look at Derek, we haven't heard the leaks.
Bro, stop searching.
I sent them to you. I don't have to search for anything. I never search for leaks. I get them sent to me. I'm plugged in.
Bro, stop having folks send them to you. That's such a spoiler.
It ain't a spoiler for me because I'm still play the album. And I got a whole list of leaks with like a bunch of artists in there, but I only listen to the Drake leaks and the Dirk leaks. I ain't listen to nobody else.
Leave me alone with this shit. Don't send it to me.
Okay, I won't send them to you. You're not on my list anyway. You'd have had them by now.
I'm glad I'm not, nigga.
The new music tonight, we getting that new Dirk Deluxe of The Voice. We're also getting Party Next Door Colors. If you ever heard of it, have never heard it, it's a project. He dropped 2 of them, but he's putting them all together and he's gonna drop them on all platforms tonight. We're getting a Madlib Sound and Sister project, and we're getting Rich the Kid, Lucky 7, maybe. It's a question mark. Singles, we're getting Young Thug and YSL GFU. I don't know what it stands for. I think it stands for Get Effed Up, but I'm not sure. Brent Fire is featuring Tyler the Creator, SFS. I think this might be a banger because Brent been on fire, and a Tyler feature might be a vibe. 2K Baby, 2 Kizzy Flow, Famous Dex to be announced, and Westside Boogie to be announced. Westside Boogie dropped one of my favorite projects 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Lil Mosey, Holy Water out now, and Roddy Rebel and Lil Uzi Vert to be announced. Those are the big ones that we know about right now. Meek Mill just previewed a song with Lil Baby and Lil Durk. If he drops that, everybody gonna be bumping that for the next couple weeks.
Too much.
And let me see. Lil Baby's opening a restaurant in Atlanta. Didn't know that. Yeah, that's all I have, I guess, on the music front. But on the entertainment front, I would like to say rest in peace, Cicely Tyson. Definitely want to, acknowledge her before this podcast ends. Yeah, sad news, but at 96, life well lived for sure. And for top 5, we have top 5 J. Cole songs. Whenever everybody's ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
J. Cole songs, because it is his birthday. Happy birthday, Jermaine Cole. Like Jermaine Cole, like J. Cole. Yeah, it's his birthday. Top 5 J. Cole. Damon, take it away.
All right, my honorable mention will be today's date, January 28th, title track off 2014 Forest Hills Drive, J. Cole's birthday, of course. My number 5 will be A Lot, the intro track for 21 Savage, I Am Better Than I Was. Number 4, Jodeci Freestyle. Y'all know about that. Drake and J. Cole need some more of that. Previously released, now on Care Package on all streaming platforms. Go check that out if you don't know the song. My number 3 is Kevin's Heart off KOD, just about. Number 2, For Your Eyes Only, the title track off the album For Your Eyes Only, the outro. Song is, I believe, 6 minutes long? 8 minutes long. Yeah, I really like it. One of my favorite outros. And number 1, off Born Sinner, Land of the Snakes. I used to roll down Lewis Street with some girls from the past. Like, damn, Cole, wish I knew that you would be rich.
What was your number 5?
My number 5 was A Lot.
Oh, A Lot. Oh.
Yeah. Jace, you ready? I can't hear him. He said no. Heard you. All right, I'll go. Honorable mention is She's Mine, Part 1 from For Your Eyes Only. Number 5, Workout. Number 4, January 28th, his birthday. Number 3, No Role Models. Number 2, She Knows. And number 1, Fire Squad from 2014 Forest Hills Drive. That was my favorite album in 2014, so it's only right that most of my songs are from that album.
You're up, Jace.
All right. So I don't got any honorable mentions because I don't really have time to. But my number 5 is Under the Sun with the baby and I think JID. Number 4, January 28th, his birthday. It's a good song. Number 3, Wet Dreams. That's my favorite song off of Forest Hills Drive. Number 2 is Dead Presidents 2. And then number 1 is Villamatic. Yes, sir. The
All right. I have 3 honorable mentions. Kenny Lofton featuring Young Jeezy, Middle Child, and I also have Crunch Time off Truly Yours 1. Kenny Lofton's off Truly Yours 2. My number 5 is this song called Get Free Cold World, which is like a single release. It's like not on anything but SoundCloud, I think. It's like Never Be Free. It's a sample on there. I like that song a lot. I think he made the beat too. Number 4, I have Is She Gon' Pop off of Born Sinner Deluxe. Number 3, I have Stay 2009 off of Truly Yours. Number 2, I have Love Yours off of 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And my number 1, like my favorite Cole song probably ever. I really forgot that I was looking through and I saw this song and I was like, dang, this was I used to play this like on repeat every day. Rich in This by J. Cole off of Born Sinner, which is my favorite J. Cole album, Born Sinner, and my second is 2014 Drive.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of gonna drop January 28th from my top 5, and I'm gonna put Blow Up in there for Friday Night Lights. That's one of my favorite J. Cole songs, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide. J. Cole got some bangers, dog.
Yeah, but that Rich, I hate Rich. Because I ain't never had a lot. Who you had to kill? Who you had to
goes crazy, but Born Sinner. I think Born Sinner is definitely Cole's best album, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Born Sinner go platinum twice.
I think it went platinum 3 times, if I'm correct.
Born Sinner my favorite in 2014, but then that Truly, I don't be mentioning Truly Yours like I should, because I like Truly Yours 1 and 2. I know like all of them songs, like all of them. That's
We
what
need a
I'm
new
saying.
Cole album, man.
People trying to make it seem like I don't like J. Cole. I just didn't
What
like.
you don't? You just
No,
you
I
didn't
just
like
didn't like
KOD.
KOD. That's the only.
Derek
just
didn't
did not like
Derek thought
KOD.
KOD was below average.
I didn't like KOD or For Your Eyes Only, but that's just me. But then
Boy,
Middle Child made my
Lucky
honorable
Jalen.
mention because when he dropped Middle Child, boy, I was like, my boy. And then his verse on the London, see, y'all know. I just think I just got a certain J. Cole vibe I rock.
And he did produce Thug album, did produce So Much Fun, or co-produced.
He was on tour with him, so I guess he just was telling him what songs to put on there, and So Much Fun is a
Lucky
banger.
JB not on here. You ain't want to start arguing about the Bucks, J. Cole, Westbrook.
I ain't like KOD album either.
We like to argue. We do that from time to time. Y'all argue like a married couple. My dad used to tell us that too.
I was so confused when KOD first came out. I'm like, who the hell is Kill Edward? But then I'm like, I only get J. Cole. Like, what's going on?
Oh, wait, before we end it, Trey and EJ's in game.
Yes.
Yes, they are, but
Thank
7
God.
going up.
Kim does it again. Is there any news breaking?
Is there anything I can't get done with a little pressure? Start threatening people. Jace come take the Eagles, but you can't quit. You quit, we not friends.
No, Jason, no, I'll ban him. Sorry.
Jason,
No, never mind. You being Bruiser Division though. You don't want to do that.
Bro, I had the Giants.
I have the Giants now. No excuses.
Really?
You don't want to be in Bruiser
Bruh,
Division.
you are gonna come in here and quit. I'm not doing this with you again.
But I'm gonna have to actually practice. Like, cause
Jalen in the league.
huh?
Jalen in the league.
JB?
Yeah.
I might gotta come join.
Bro, no, bro. You gotta threaten.
Everybody
him.
want to beat up on Jalen.
Bro, look. If I join, right, and I quit out, I never gonna play with y'all again.
Bro, you said that last time. I'm not doing this with you again.
Bro, I had the Giants.
Bro, I have the Giants.
Bro, Bruiser, we know you're better than me, bro. We know you are, okay? We know you're better than me, all right? You're better than a lot of people. You had cover 3 beaters and everything. I didn't know how to cover. I had Deep Blues back there, still covering the.
All right, that a podcast.
That's a podcast.
This was cool episode 89 of the Pack Life Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're available to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. Follow us at Pack Life Pod or Pack Life Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Beside me is my brother, Mr. Carter.
Cutthroat.
Diagonally is my cousin, Mr. DeMar.
Oh, my bad. Rest in peace, Sister Tyson, one more time, and happy birthday, J. Cole. I wanted to do that.
Diagonally is my cousin, Mr. DeMar.
Thank you for having me, as always. 90th episode next week, man.
Oh yeah, we there, 90. And last but not least, we have Mr. Potty Mouth himself, Mr. JC Wood.
Yeah.
Never too much. Sorry, this is our shortest episode in a minute, so shout out to us, 4 people. We kept it condensed, kept it nice for you guys. Very packaged well.
And time of the year with no more football, man.
Yep, this I be with no football. And I'm your host, Bruiser Carter. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with us. Episode 89. 2-year anniversary was yesterday. We're still going strong. Trying to eat more, you feel me? Trying to get full, you feel me? And we out here though. We are
New Pack Life.